Welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. All right, so Ethan finally got home, all right? And I asked him, I said, what time did you get out of school? 11:10. And so I said to him, I said, how come you just walking in here? I've been calling you, I've been texting you. You haven't responded. Oh, my phone's at 3%. So I said, okay, but you text your mother though, right? I mean, you call your mother, right? You spoke to your mother, right? He's like, yeah. I said, okay, so you couldn't text me? Okay. Look. What he's doing. See? Bunch of pussies. Yeah, I said it. Bunch of pussies. Fuck out of here. He's looking at the ETA. ETA 55. Ah, they wish. They wish. Let me tell you. They wish. All right, see what I gotta do. That's why I gotta be how I am sometimes. You know, confront them. Let them know. No, ain't no fear here. ETA, and then putting his hand like you're looking at his watch or what have you, but except his hand is above his head, right? On his head, I should say. But anyhow, and as I just walked by, my eyes stared at the empty water bottle. Let me see if I can show you guys right there. There you go. It's all placed there. It's all strategic in what it is that they do. But anyhow, so I said to them, I said, but you could text your mother, but you couldn't text me back? And this is what I talk about. So what they are doing, again, is trying to send Mr. Bimmel a message about Ethan not being my son and blah, 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 and all that shit. Right? So again, when I talk about strategic things that they do, I'm going to explain to you. Right? Ethan was born. Pamela didn't want to give him my last name. She didn't sign. She didn't give him my last name. I said, okay, that's fine. What have you? Because, we was not together. Right? Because, you know what I'm saying? And then we end up getting back together. And, so we went to, both me and her went to put my last name on his birth certificate. We fill out the form. First of all, when I met her, because I had to meet her at the hospital, and I talk about there's a look that she was giving me, and she had like tears in her eyes as she was looking at me. And I'm like, what's the matter with you? What's wrong? Remember, this happened a couple years back. Not a couple years back, but a decade back. Ethan was born in 2009. Okay? So he was born in 2009. So I talk about in the 1990s, the late 1990s. When I was with my girlfriend at the time, I was living somewhere else. And she came over one day, we were supposed to go out, and she standing up there, she kept looking at me with tears in her eyes. I'm like, what's wrong? All right? So when I talk about certain things that were happening before, how you doing? All right. So when I talk about certain things that was happening, and I never really paid it no mind because I didn't know. But when I start to see, that look at her face and what she did, she was crying, I'm like, why is she doing that? And I asked her, she's just like, oh, it's nothing. She's like, oh, nothing. I'm like, it can't be. It has to be something, right? Because obviously you have that look and you see you're crying. So what's going on? But whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's why I talk about these females and how they're very deceptive, right? And because they're conditioned that way. They don't understand. They just accept who they are, right? So whether, for them lying is nothing. It's just who they are, right? Deceiving us men is nothing. It's just who they are. Okay? And so, like I said, so you fill out the form, and when we went back when we got the new birth certificate, right? They didn't add the name on it. Now we fill out the form now, right? So when I talk about how this is a well orchestrated scheme that they do, right? and I talk about how they, you know, engage in such rhetoric, right? Administrative abuse, those sort of things. These people have infiltrated all aspects of society, right? From the hospitals to the education system, corporate America, law enforcement. It's an infiltration like you've never seen before. And I always remember Captain America, Captain America, was it the Winter Soldier? With Hydra? And how Hydra infiltrated all aspects of the government and S.H.I.E.L.D. Right? This is what these religious fundamentalists do. Right? So anyhow. So when Ethan, you know, he told me, oh, he went with his friend to get something to eat. I said, okay, that's fine. But I keep telling you, you just text me. Hey, just leaving school, going with my friends to get something to eat, then I'll be heading home. That's fine. But his mother thinks that he shouldn't be doing these things. Right? So she will dismiss my worry. So I said to her, when I called her, actually she called me before I was leaving, and I said to her, hey, you heard from Ethan? She was like, oh, he's not home yet? I was like, what? She's like, well, he texted me he was on home, he's on the bus. And then I said that he's here. Then she got upset. Right? And the reason why I did that is to make a point. You have dismissed my concern for our child's safety. Right? But because I said to you, have you seen him? All of a sudden you acting as if you're concerned. But you wasn't concerned when they were younger and you leave them in the house by themselves. You didn't even call on them all day and all night. And I have to text you or tell the kids to call you. Right? But like I said, you know, there are a particular type of personality within women and men, the narcissistic personality types and traits, in that when they all of a sudden when they meet someone and they trying to act as something that they're not, all of a sudden they want to act concerned now. Right? All of a sudden they want to care now. Right? I mean, if she was so concerned she was scared, I called her 6:30 a.m. this morning. Right? And I asked her to wake up the kids. She went right back to sleep. Right? So I called her back again at 7:15. She was now going to wake up the kids. And then she calls me at 8:40 telling me that she's having issues to getting the kids out the house. So you see, even when I'm not there and I try to help, I iron my son's clothes, I do all of this stuff, you know, for the week, what have you. Call her. The kids are still late for school because she does not want to change her mindset, because according to her, she is perfectly fine, there's nothing wrong with her, and she doesn't need to change. But everybody has to change for her. Everybody got to compromise for her. But she doesn't have to compromise for anyone, and she doesn't have to she doesn't have to change for anyone, including her own children, including for herself. Right? But when she's with other people, she wants to act concerned. Right? When her action shows that she's not concerned. And I keep telling her, you're the one they're the reason why they are the way that they are. As much as I try to be there, this is why when they're with me, they act totally different. But they only do it when they're with me. When I'm not there, when I'm not around, they revert back to who they are with her. And yet she doesn't understand it. Right? that the person here again will tell you that who needs to change and who needs to be more disciplinary with their children is you, the mother, you, because they're not behaving themselves with you. All right? Anyhow, I'll talk to you guys in a minute.